Hi there, welcome to Terrorland Soap Opera. I'm going to do a reading today for Cancer energy. And like usual on this channel, we're going to do 2 rows. The top row is going to be high vibe Cancer energy. The bottom row is going to be a more worldly focused or maybe more shadowy Cancer energy. For some, it can just be a battle within yourself. You know, everyone has this dualistic nature within themselves. And we like to do and stay in our comfort zone, and moving forward in our life, letting go of some old ways of being to face some of our fears and insecurities can be tough. So it can be a battle between someone just within themselves. But then there's going to be some people in the world who had definitely come to some understanding or some truth in their life that they can't live their life the way they've been living it. And they are going to listen to their intuition and have hope and faith and belief in themselves to have a new beginning. And they're not going to repeat an old pattern and way of living their life. And then there's going to be some people who are definitely going to keep repeating an old pattern of a way of life because they're not willing to do life differently. You know, the truth sets us free. And if we're willing to face some of our fears, some of our insecurities, some of our self-limiting beliefs, to have a new beginning, the Sun card is the reason for the reading for the high vibe people. They previously could have been in shadowy Leo energy, kind of been in their ego, in their fear, in their insecurity, and it could have become illuminated to them that, oh my gosh, you know, I want to do things differently. And if I want to do things differently, I have to go within in Virgo energy to see the truth. Why do I operate from fear or insecurity or pride or ego? Why do I let that run my life? Some people were dealing with other people who live their life like that. And it's like, why does this person have so much fear or insecurity or live their life from their pride and ego? High vibe people are motivated to figure out the truth in their Virgo energy. We all harness all of these different traits and characteristics of the zodiac signs. It's just, do we harness them in a high vibe way or a more shadowy way? You know, we have the Sun card, the 9 of Cups, the 6 of Swords, and Justice. High vibe people want to be in high vibrational relationships. People who harness high vibe Cancer, high vibe Leo, high vibe Pisces, high vibe Aquarius, high vibe Libra. In addition to Virgo, Aries, willing to face their fears and insecurities, to put in work and effort in their Taurus energy, to face their own shadowy worldly nature, which can just be your fears and insecurities, to be free. You know, our shadow nature is represented by the devil. It's all the things that can limit us and oppress us and confine us and restrict us and oppress us. High vibe energy is you should be free to live your life. Love yourself, believe in yourself, encourage yourself, forgive yourself, have some compassion, you know, for yourself and other people so you're not enslaved to the past. Offer love and compassion. That's what helps us heal. Offer yourself love and compassion. Offer other people love and compassion. See the truth. Become emotionally independent of your more egoic nature that can keep you focused on the past in an unhealthy way. Love yourself so that you can offer love to yourself. Be in life-giving energy to love yourself and see the truth. That where you've been and how you've lived your life has caused you mental conflict. Look at life in Aquarius energy from a higher perspective. Have some hope and faith and belief that you can heal, that others can heal. But everybody has free will. And some people don't want to see the truth, and you have to see the truth that you have the free will choice to choose to love and believe in yourself. Or you can keep belittling yourself, berating yourself, being caught up in the illusion of the world that, you know, I don't got to deal with my issues. I don't have to learn to love myself or heal from my past pain and heartbreak. I can just ignore it. That's shadowy Virgo energy. I'm just going to ignore it. I'm just going to keep moving forward in pride and ego. I'm sure it'll all work out okay. But if we don't ever deal with those issues from the past that made us defensive to loving and believing in ourselves, And part of it is we don't have to figure it all out. It's just to see that everybody's a fallible human being that has this battle going on within themselves, because we've all got this dualistic nature. We all have our more worldly nature, our self nature, our more immature, selfish, greedy, prideful, egotistical, lazy, I want what I want nature. I'd love everything to orient all around me. And we know different people that are all over the spectrum. Some people are very selfish and greedy and self-centered and manipulative and lazy and all about themselves and want what they want, and they don't give a damn about anybody else in the world. That's like the far end of the spectrum. And then we have other people, that are really doing their best to temper their more, hopefully we learn lessons in life that, if I'm selfish and greedy and prideful and egotistical, this isn't going to work out well for me. And hopefully some people have learned to temper that nature within themselves, and hopefully they've grown and matured themselves, that is like an aspect of themselves that they've so outgrown. If they were to tap into that way of being again, they'd be appalled at their behavior. And then there's other people who still really kind of have a lot of those traits and characteristics, and they just try to cover it up, and they never deal with, I'm envious and jealous, and I still want to blame everyone else for my problems, point my finger at everyone else. There's a lot of people who could have done a lot of things in our life that we're angry about, but are we going to let other people who are in negative energy, who weren't loving, who weren't kind, who were selfish or greedy or prideful or bossy or controlling, are we going to let those people keep having control of our life? Or are we going to offer our self-love? It's like, I'm going to give myself all the things that I wish those people would have given me. I don't need them to love me. I don't need them to validate my worth and value. I choose to love me. I see that they're kind of selfish or greedy or bossy or controlling or self-centered or manipulative, self-centered. The problem is some people don't want to see the truth. Because a lot of those people in our life we love. And we did love, if they're not in our life anymore. Some people, the Virgo hermit is about going within, not with a sledgehammer. I'm going to pound on all those people who ever didn't love me. Virgo hermit, it's to gain insight and wisdom. It's shedding light, which kind of represents love and compassion. And a wise person would say, I think, that we all struggle with this within ourselves. We all have fear and insecurity. We can all have fear of doing things differently, so then we can try to control people. We could have fear of being more vulnerable, being more authentic, being hurt, not knowing how to be a parent. If I'm too congenial with my children, will they rebel? I really love them, and I can come across really forceful and controlling sometimes. Were the people in our life trying to do the best they could do? And we're fallible human beings. Every generation learns more, and then society keeps changing. There's more challenges. It's just to offer love and compassion to it. And to see that if some people really didn't try to do the best they could and really were selfish or greedy or proud, just to see the truth of that too. They're a fallible human being who did not overcome a lot of their own inner demons. But it's in the energy of love that we can release it and let it go. And I think that's what some high vibe people did. They could have dealt with some people who harness some shadowy Leo Pisces energy. They don't have to be those sun signs, but shadowy Pisces can be these people who have illusions of what it means to be in relationship with other people. And some people have some weird ideas about what it means to be in a relationship. Some people think it should be all about them. Isn't that what a relationship's supposed to be like? They're still very prideful and egotistical and self-centered. Some people think it's okay to kind of be manipulative and kind of controlling in a relationship. Some people think you get in relationships just to indulge yourself. It's like a dog eat dog world. And it's all about me trying to get as much as I can get out of it. Isn't that how everybody thinks? Anybody can have their own screwy ideas of what they think a great relationship is. You know? And I think some people in the world saw the truth that you had different dreams. Some of the people you were moving forward with, could live more from their mind and their heart. In their Aquarius energy, they could be more motivated and inspired by the world. We can all get caught up in the illusion of the world. We all are born into the world, we all kind of get indoctrinated into the world. It's what you own that makes you have worth and value. It's what you wear. It's how much money you have. And some people are really caught up in that, If certain people don't wear certain clothes or seem to make a certain income, they wouldn't even talk to those people, And other people in high vibe Aquarius energy, high vibe Cancer, high vibe Leo, high vibe Pisces, high vibe Aquarius, they've been enlightened to the truth that there's so much more than the superficiality of the world. There's so much more to people. There's so much more to our worth and value than the superficial things of the world. And they look at life from a higher perspective, and they do have hope and faith and belief in their dreams. And when they feel mental conflict, because the Six of Swords moves away from the Five of Swords, which can be mental conflict of, dealing with these own aspects within ourselves and dealing with other people in the world that have these shadowy traits and characteristics to them, like all human beings do. What do we do when we deal with other people in the world or other people that have disappointed us or hurt us? Do we take action in truth and love? Believing that we will get the justice we deserve, that we reap what we sow, and the people who are more selfish and greedy and prideful and egotistical, probably going to have some people move away from them and keep their distance from them. That, I think, is justice. People who are warm and loving and emotionally independent and have hope and faith and belief in their dreams and maintain balance within themselves so they're not acting out of shadowy energy, being petty and envious and jealous and vengeful and envious. And, probably other people are going to want to have new beginnings with people who are like that. Because who really likes to hang out with the prideful and indulgent and self-centered and manipulative and controlling people? And those people think the way they're moving forward is just and fair. We all justify however we're living life at any given moment in our life. People going out robbing and killing people are justifying their actions, We come into contact with all these people to try to get illuminated about what our truth is. What do we find emotionally fulfilling? Is it indulging in our ego? Indulging in the world? Is that what we're motivated and inspired by? Looking like a shining star in the world? Is that the most important thing in our life? Is that getting our justice as people to view us and indulge us and look at us like we're a shining star, being the center of attention? Is it all about us and people have to acknowledge us? People have to look up to us? People have to admire us? Or maybe you just go live your life and it's like, I don't care if people look up to me and admire me. I don't give a damn. They're going to think whatever the hell they think anyway. I do not control them. Some people, they live more from their mind than their heart, and it's all about trying to control people to get people to view them a certain way, because how people view them is very important to them, and it really could have them up in their head instead of just living their life authentically. That's high vibe Leo. How about you just live your life authentically? How about you are a loving, nurturing, authentic, warm human being who's emotionally independent from your ego nature and doesn't think life's about controlling other people? How about you enjoy life? How about you be loving and kind to other people to help other people enjoy life? How about you keep moving forward in truth and love and trying to encourage other people to believe in themselves and believe in their dreams? How about you maintain balance within yourself so you don't tip into your selfish and greedy and prideful and egotistical and self-centered or manipulative ways of being? Then you don't have to worry because you're not trying to control anyone. Because in our shadow nature, we could feel like, how do I get people to like me? How do I get people blah, blah, blah? You know, you can't. So, I mean, you can try, and I think there's a lot of people who do try. It's all about their ego and their image and who they're talking to so that other people will see who they're talking to. And oh my gosh, you seem like a very important person, or you seem to be someone of worth and value. I know I don't even want to care to hang out with people who are like that. It's like, I don't care. I think some high vibe people have seen the truth of some people they've been in relationships that either are all about getting in relationships and it's for them to indulge themselves. That's kind of what the Nine of Cups and shadowy energy can be. That makes them happy. I like to get in a relationship. It's good for my ego and my image and my status. And then I'm happy because it looks like I'm moving forward. That's part of the reason why I want to get in a relationship. It makes it look like I've moved on. Look, I got in a new relationship. I'm using this person to help me create that illusion. Some of you moved forward with someone like that in a relationship and you didn't see the truth. Some of you could have moved forward with a Libra or somebody who you thought would be just and fair. And then as time went by, you could have seen the truth. You know, sometimes people can present themselves any way they want to in the world. It's kind of like their social mask and their social persona they present to the world. But then you could have realized they were hiding that they present themselves as harnessing high vibe Cancer energy. I view the King of Cups as Cancer energy. Created the illusion that there's someone who's willing to take action in a relationship from a place of love. Willing to take a leap of faith to face their fears and insecurities, to get in a relationship and a marriage and act with character and integrity. Harnessing high vibe Leo, Pisces, Aquarius, Libra, Virgo, Aries, Capricorn, Taurus. But when it got to be where they really had to deal with some of their own fears or insecurities, or their more things that block them from really maybe being more authentic in the world, you know, because if we let our ego run our life and we're letting, I kind of view the kings in tarot, we all take action in masculine energy and we all can present ourselves any way we want to in the world, but people don't know the truth of who we are internally, emotionally, and that's what the queens can represent in tarot, is how we really are internally, emotionally. So people can present themselves any way they want to in the world. Some of the people like you knew in your life, there's other people in the world going out there like that too. It's like, oh, wow, let's have a new beginning. And oh, yes, it's like a dream come true. We'll have our dreams come true. I'm just, I'm fair, I'm balanced. But then they're hiding that they're wearing a false mask. It's kind of indulging in the relationship until it gets to the point where, you know, because we can all kind of be on the same page to a degree in a relationship where we have similar past pain and heartbreak and stuff like that. And so we're kind of on the same page in that way. It's just that sometimes it's a mismatched relationship and we don't realize it, that the other person really doesn't harness these energies in a high vibe way. They're wearing a false mask. They're really maybe harnessing more shadowy energy. And we don't know that until we start doing the work within ourselves to deal with some of our own fears and insecurities and self-limiting beliefs, and learn to love and believe in ourselves and be more independent of some of the baggage we've carried around in life. And we start to see life from a higher perspective, and we're ready to move forward differently. It's kind of like we can all be kind of tipped out of balance into some of our fear and insecurities. I think the biggest challenge in life is to learn to love yourself and be someone who treats yourself every day in a loving, encouraging, compassionate way, being your own best mother, father, coach voice in your head. I think that's the biggest challenge of human beings, to love yourself so you can be independent of your more egoic, worldly nature, where you do start to see life from a higher perspective. And, it's a higher truth and justice that you're motivated and inspired by, no longer being as motivated and inspired by the things of the world, like the ego and the image. We all put in work and effort to have those, to have stability and security and enjoy the finer things of life. It's just that, it's like the Taurus energy has to do with our underlying philosophy of life and how that affects the decisions that we make in our life, because our underlying philosophy of life will dictate the type of decisions we make in our life. And if high vibe people have seen the truth that it's about loving my foundation, loving my more worldly nature, it's not ignoring we have a shadow side. It's loving our shadow nature, like calming when our fears and our insecurities and our pride and our ego and those things get triggered, we calm ourselves, we love ourselves, we, work through it because we don't want to be in shadowy energy. And when we're kind of tempted to take a risk, to repeat an old pattern of behavior that is hurtful and unloving in a relationship, we offer ourselves love to temper our more fiery nature. Aries is fire sign energy. And Aries is kind of about the self. Well, but I want this and I want it now, and I'm having inner conflict and I'm angry, or I'm kind of in my lust or my greed or whatever. High vibe people temper their fiery nature and they go within to look at, if I kind of think I want to go do this, whatever it could be, I kind of want to indulge in a dream, or I have mental conflict and I want to not be in mental conflict, am I going to take impulsive, reckless, selfish, greedy action that's going to be hurtful to my relationships? Or am I going to offer love to temper myself and then, think about these actions that I'm thinking of taking? Is that really aligned with my truth? Is that just and fair? I mean, it's one thing to want to go do whatever you want to do in life and be truthful and honest with the people that you're in a relationship with. I don't like this anymore. Something's going on here. This is getting difficult. The devil can just mean things got difficult in a workplace or a relationship. The devil could mean that people get in a relationship with someone and the other person thought, well, I thought it was going to be, kind of more all about me. I didn't think I was going to have to put in work and effort to temper my fears and insecurities and being all about me, indulging myself. I didn't think I was going to have to look at life from a higher perspective. I didn't think I was going to have to put in work and effort to get more balanced within myself. I didn't think I was going to have to deal with some of my past pain and heartbreak, or maybe my immature, but I want what I want nature. I didn't think I was going to have to discipline that. I thought I could take these foolish risks in a relationship. I thought I could be toxic and unhealthy or bossy or controlling or all about me in a relationship. Everybody can have their idea, again, of what they think is just and fair. And if some people kind of do have this more stubborn, prideful, egotistical, entitled view of themselves, even when they're in relationships with other people, those people could take some foolish risks in a relationship. I bet that will bother you. I bet that will cause you mental conflict. I bet that will get you in your competitive energy. I bet that, sometimes there's people that are in a relationship with people who are just and fair and loving and warm, and that bothers them. And they maintain their balance. They're not being petty and envious and jealous and, playing the mind games. Some people are used to being in relationships where people act like that. They might like to view themselves as they were really kind of above that behavior. They could go get in relationships with people who aren't like that. They didn't like that when they were in relationships with people who are like that. And then they get in relationship with people who really maybe are what they thought they wanted. And then it's like, well, kind of bothers me. We can all have our ways of coping in a relationship. And some people can be a little bit more bossy or controlling or manipulative. And of course, they don't want people to view them and the rest of the world to know that they're kind of like that. But they could realize, they're some of them were repeating an old pattern of a way of being in a relationship. And maybe based on people kind of similar to how they could have seen people. So we all repeat these patterns of relationships, these generational patterns, ways of being like that we grew up with in a family, that we saw other people, how they handled things. And then sometimes when things can get kind of difficult, maybe in a relationship, people sometimes revert to some of those not good patterns. And it could be, shadowy Cancer would be someone who's, well, they're being emotionally manipulative, trying to use the love that you have for them against you to get you. It's kind of like if they're kind of used to, that's kind of their world. They know how to work in that world. I'm used to dealing with people who are kind of in this energy, who play this game with me, basically. And I don't want you to love and believe in yourself. If you keep loving and believing in yourself, you're going to want me to deal with my issues and be illuminated to the truth that I might indulge in ego or wanting to win at all costs. Being a little prideful and egotistical and selfish in a relationship. And I don't want to deal with those issues. I don't want to even see the truth about myself. So if you had been in a relationship or are in a relationship with someone like that, even if it's a workplace, because Taurus can mean all these different things in the world, work, organizations, families, friend groups, marriages, any type of organization in the world, basically. And some people think that they shouldn't have to put in the work and effort to be more authentic, look at life from a higher perspective, and be more just and fair, but they should still be able to be in it. It's like, how about all of you people do that? And I get to, in the devil, I get to indulge. I like it when all of you people act like that, but I don't think I should have to put in work and effort to be like that. But I want to go with you. I think it's just and fair that I get to go with you. You're loving, warm people. You're not petty and envious and jealous, and you're not manipulative and egotistical. I love hanging out with you people. But they're like that. It's like, oh my gosh. Anyway, some of you went within to try to figure out, and some people could be in a relationship. Some of you were in a relationship or a marriage, and you moved away from that person, or you're going to, or a job. Other people are in that type of situation right now. And if the person they're in a relationship wants them to move forward with them, let's get married. That would be just and fair. We should make this legal. I think some of them are listening to their intuition to love themselves, harnessing these energies in a high vibe way. Wait a minute. I have been illuminated to the truth that you're kind of got some shadowy ways of being about you. The devil could also be, the devil kind of represents the things of the world. They could love someone just like you could have been in a relationship and friendships with people who you loved. But when they start to be bossy or controlling or indulgent or manipulative, or it can just be being materialistic, where that's why they want to be in the relationship with you. For some of you have already gotten out of one relationship, you're moving forward, you've been doing this inner work, you're ready to put yourself out there in the world. You're going to take a leap of faith to come out into the light of day, because the Virgo is kind of about going within in solitude and stuff. And then the Sun, I am ready. I have healed. I have healed from the past pain and heartbreak and whatever could have happened in my life. I am ready to put in work and effort to go get the justice I deserve. And I think you're going to go out there in the world, some of you, and offer, just being a loving, generous, kind person who treats other people the way you like to be treated. And you're probably going to have some people that are be like, yeah, I want to be in a relationship with you. And you just have to listen to your intuition and go within. Maybe it's about, I will get to know you to find out to be illuminated to what the truth of your foundation is. What's your underlying philosophy of life? You just got to get to know people to find out. And I think even though you're presenting yourself like you're open to love, to a degree you are, but you're also very wise because of past life experiences that you've gone on. And the Virgo goes within to not be in denial of the truth and live in fantasy land. So though you might want a new beginning in love, you're not living in Pisces fantasy land. You have seen life from a higher perspective. You have dealt with people who are prideful and egotistical and indulgent and self-centered. And you're, I think, going to speak your truth that I'm looking for a just and fair and balanced relationship with people who are open and authentic and warm and loving and independent. People who've healed from past pain and heartbreak and their self-limiting beliefs and not operating from their ego, who are independent of their ego, who have healed, who have seen life from a higher perspective and have done the work to get balance within themselves. Not thinking they should be indulged in their shadowy behavior, or still out of balance, It's like, I want to be with people who have offered love to themselves to deal with their own fears and insecurities, who have put in work and effort to be illuminated to the truth. That if I'm going to get in a relationship, I should have healed from these issues. I should have put in work and effort, not learned how to love myself. Because if I haven't learned to love myself, I'm going to reject loving people, because I kind of reject that within myself. Like, I dismiss it, I belittle it, I call it weak, or, I could get manipulated. I can't, be vulnerable to love. And then eventually they push away loving people in their life too, and those people are a threat to them, basically, because if they're emotionally defensive to love, anybody who's loving is a threat to them protecting themselves from being hurt, because they're not open to giving and receiving love. And there's other people in the world that have left relationships like this that are also putting themselves out there in the world, that don't want to just jump into a relationship because of fear or insecurity or pride or ego or indulgence. They know that won't end well. So even though some people might be attracted to other people, just like you might be attracted to people, other people might be attracted to you. People could be just taking time to be illuminated to the truth, to get to know people, get to know them, move forward in life, see how people conduct themselves. Do they act in a more balanced manner? Have I just not seen the truth that they're foolish and immature and selfish and greedy and prideful and bossy and controlling? And I'm just going to get to know them to get to know more about who they are. And there's some people right now that are getting out of a relationship. There's some people right now that have people that want them to move forward in a relationship. And those people could be mad that these people are going within and learning to be more independent and believe in themselves and get more balanced, because the shadowy people that were in a relationship with them like them not doing that work within themselves. Let's both present ourselves as harnessing high vibe Cancer energy, but we're both wearing a false mask because we have fear of doing the work within ourselves to love and believe in ourselves. But let's present ourselves as high vibe Cancer people who are living the life of our dreams. But we're really more in the relationship because of money or status or image or ego or indulgence or fear or insecurity. And some of the people right now, just like when some of you decided to take some time to go within and heal, the people in your life didn't like it because it probably illuminated the truth that they were kind of indulging in their ego, that maybe even being in the relationship for some of the people that you were in a relationship with, it was good for their ego and their image to be in a relationship. It looked like their dreams were coming into reality. They had the perfect life. Look, you were in a relationship with them. You were loving and warm and encouraging and all that, but you weren't seeing the truth for a long time, possibly, that this person was in the relationship more because of the ego and the image and the status. That it was more about them looking like a shining star. And they seemed, eventually you could have realized that, it seems like you kind of wear a false mask, and that can be someone, we don't really have it here, but I would think, needless, if you're in a relationship with someone who's operating more from their emotionally defensive ego nature, but they're wearing a mask of like, I'm a loving family person to you, and when we go out in the world, I'll present myself like that. But it's kind of like their cup doesn't overflow. They're not a very maybe loving or warm person, but again, it's trying to wear that mask of being that type of person. But you can't fake how freely you give of yourself, and how loving and warm and supportive and encouraging. And it does kind of feel like you're in a relationship more with a cardboard cutout person, someone operating from their emotionally defensive egoic nature, than an authentically loving person. And you could have put in a lot of work and effort to try to get them to love and believe in themselves, to deal with their own fears and insecurities they had about being more authentic and loving. And some other people have done that in relationships. Some of them are doing it right now. And that's when you're kind of illuminated that, that person could be happy continuing to move forward in the relationship the way it was. But it's really hard when you've been illuminated to the truth that this person really isn't operating from love, and they want you to stay in it because of the ego and the image, and you're loving and warm and encouraging and supportive. So it's kind of like their dream is coming into reality. They get all the perks of like a real relationship, but you don't, because you're not dealing with someone who's being authentic and vulnerable and emotionally loving and hopeful and believing in love. It's more of like creating the illusion that it's all that and they're happy with it. So I think some people got out of those relationships. They're ready to go back out there in the world. And I think as you meet new people, you could have people from your past come towards you. Could be people you didn't get in a relationship with in the past. It could be people you had been in a relationship and you got out of a relationship with. I don't think, well, for some, the whole thing is we live in a dualistic world, so you're going to be given choice. You could have different people from your past, high vibe people and low vibe people, coming to get in a relationship with you. And I think you'll go within to see if they've done this work within themselves. Or if they just think, oh my gosh, I could be the new person to indulge in you. It'd be good for my ego and image. I think that's just and fair. You should get in a relationship with me. Aren't you fearful of moving forward and believing in yourself? Can't I tempt you if I wear a false mask for you to come get in a relationship with me? So you don't have to deal with your own fears and insecurities about moving forward with someone you don't know yet? And then as you move forward too, you're probably going to have people in your life who you meet that you didn't know from your past. And you're going to have both kinds of people, because we live in a world of duality. You can do this or you can do that. So I think you'll be given options. And some people are just going to want to come get in a relationship with you because the relationship they were in was toxic, or the people they had been in a relationship wanted them to grow up and mature themselves, and they didn't want to do that, so they figured they'll start over brand new with you, and it'll take you a long time to figure it out. But what they don't know about you is you've gained all this insight and wisdom about people who are like that. And again, I think you'll just listen to your intuition. Who are the people who are toxic, selfish, greedy, prideful, egotistical, stubborn? And who are the people who seem to have put in work and effort to free themselves from their ego nature, to be authentic and warm and loving and healed, that aren't focused. The past doesn't affect their future. Their negative life consequences don't affect them in a negative way. They've healed from it, basically. And you're going to listen to your intuition about who you'll move forward with in friendship groups and work groups, in romantic ways. And when you keep taking action in truth and clarity, instead of, the opposite of the sun is the moon, and that's like getting caught up in your fear and your insecurity and your illusions and not wanting to see the truth, in denial of the truth. If you keep making decisions to be willing to face your fears of having a new beginning, moving forward in a new beginning, moving forward with a new dream, believing that you deserve to get your divine inheritance, I think you will get the justice you deserve. Because that's what you're aligned with within yourself. When you quit making decisions out of fear or insecurity or lust or greed, then you're also not tempted by the people in the world who are trying to get you to align with that nature within yourself. So you'll indulge them in a relationship. It's like, no, I've kind of dealt with people like you before and it didn't work out. I want to be in the relationship with the people who've done this work within themselves just like I have. And those are the people I'm going to invest my time, energy, and effort into. And I wish you peace, but these are the people that I'm going to, we can all have social acquaintances, but these are the people that I'm really going to focus my energy on. And it's kind of like then you kind of almost have no choice but to manifest that. Now, what about the people who are in shadowy energy? They might try to present themselves to you and other people in the world, even as having been illuminated to the truth. But are they still wearing their false mask? Are they hiding? So we have the Seven of Cups, the Page of Swords, the Ten of Swords, and the Star card. And the reason is because of the Eight of Pentacles, which is also Virgo energy. But in shadowy energy, Virgo energy is more like, my long-term goal is to have these things of the world. I might want to be in a relationship, because some people think just being in a relationship in itself says something about their status and image. Really doesn't. For some of them, they don't care who they get in a relationship with, just so they're in a relationship. Look, I'm in a relationship. Somehow that means something to them. They work with their more immature nature. They're not willing to take that higher cup of love to get over the relationships in the past that didn't work out, to move forward in love, where they could take the lessons they've learned. Virgo goes inside to get the Ace of Pentacles. I have gained insight and knowledge and wisdom. I can add that to my foundation in the world. I can be more stable and grounded and mature and less naive than I was before. And they're like, nope, not willing to do it. Some people just refuse to self-reflect. Some people don't want to see the truth about why they're defensive to love. Some people don't want to see the truth that they're prideful and egotistical and self-consumed, immature, indulgent, self-centered. They want to stay in denial of the truth. So the Seven of Cups can kind of be, I'm emotionally confused and I don't want to see the truth. I have this illusion about what it means to be in a relationship. Might be kind of immature in their thinking, logic, and reasoning. Some of you could have particularly dealt with a Libra, Aquarius, or a Gemini, but you don't have to. They just kind of harness more shadowy Libra, Aquarius, Gemini energy. Instead of aligning with their more loving, hopeful, believing, just and fair, more balanced nature and view of life, they're kind of skewed into a more worldly, being motivated and inspired by the world or themselves. And they have a dream of how they've always dreamed of living life. And it's not to look at life from a higher perspective. It's not that there's a higher truth and justice to aspire to. If the world says you should make your life about money and materialism, then they make their life about money and materialism. If the way they were brought up is that it's all about them, they're the most important person, it doesn't matter, if they're in a relationship or a marriage, they are the most important person, they're caught up in the illusion of themselves. They could be people that are really defensive of being backstabbed and betrayed if they were to put in work and effort to have a dream come true. I mean, it is crazy. I just can't understand it. Because I'm a Cancer sun sign and a Cancer North Node. So, but I've gotten kind of from doing tarot and listening to tarot, it's like this ego thing of like people not wanting to actually really, really invest in a relationship. And part of the problem could be, to me, that seems so strange. What? You want to be in a relationship, but you don't, this ego thing of you, that would say something like, I don't know, they got off their high horse to actually really emotionally invest themselves in a relationship. Well, if you don't think you want to really emotionally invest yourself in a relationship, yeah, you should stay single and you should stay far away from people. To think that you want to be in a relationship, you can see where that would be someone who lives more from their mind than their heart. I think, and part of it might be, didn't we all as children have dreams of love and wanting to be in loving relationships? And we all know that those are great relationships to be in when we're in loving, encouraging, supportive friendships and family groups and stuff like that. But I think some of these people, when they had things happen to them that were emotionally confusing as a child, maybe the people, and it could even be their own parents, were kind of more worldly focused and image focused and maybe a little immature and maybe a little bit more about themselves. And it could have hurt them, and they wish those people would have invested in them more, just like we all could have experienced things like that. Well, some people aren't willing to see the truth about it. The truth sets us free. And some people really have mental conflict about seeing the truth about people that they could have really looked up to and admired in Aquarius energy. And if those people live their life a certain way, in order for them not to keep living their life that way, which could be wear this false mask, get in a relationship for the status, for the image, for the money. Well, some of the reasons why people did those and made certain choices in their life was because of certain circumstances in their life. And if that's not the same circumstance in our life, I'm sure if they could communicate to us that, but then some of those people don't want to admit that, maybe I kind of did this because of these circumstances in my life. And, I hope you really believe in your dreams. And some of those people just never even got the chance to tell them that. But some of the people, the Seven of Cups is Scorpio energy. And Scorpio energy it's water sign energy. And it can be about people who have this really kind of black and white thinking. And things are either good or bad. And if they were to see the truth, that they could think that some people in their life that they loved and looked up to could have been people who kind of were maybe immature or kind of created an illusion or maybe got in a relationship that really wasn't the relationship of their dreams, but because, for the status and the image and, they got in it. And to those people to admit that would be like saying, because some people, in the way they look at life, is this really, this is right, this is wrong? And they could have also kind of grown up in a family like that. I think we come to learn in life that there's a lot of gray in the world. And as we learn lessons in life, how people in a family can be like, oh my gosh, those people are awful. Oh my gosh, I would never do that. Oh my gosh, until something happens in their life. And then all of a sudden it's understandable and it's okay. Well, now we can understand. It's like, yeah, but for 20 years, you were slandering everybody in town. It's, again, where people build their self-esteem and their image is off of taking kind of these positions of, I'm right, you're wrong. And some people could have really grown up in some families that were like that. Anyway, some of those people could really have a hard time because it would feel like to live their life differently, to not live their life exactly like some other people live their life, would seem like they're backstabbing those people. Some people just a long time ago, they got caught up in the illusion of themselves. It doesn't have anything to do with their family. Some people are just like some people are more predisposed to being more of an introvert versus an extrovert. I think there's some people in the world, doesn't have anything to do with their family. They're naturally more consumed with themselves and narcissistic, and they would have a lot of life lessons to learn to get them out of their self-centered, egotistical nature. And this kind of came up. I have another channel. It's called I Alone Fly Tarot, and I just did a Cancer reading on that one too. And this kind of storyline kind of came up there too, that there's some people that were just living a life of illusion because of some people that were in their life that kind of kept them towing the line, tempering their more egotistical, self-centered nature. And they could have went along with it, hiding that they were just creating an illusion. And for some of you who could have gotten in a relationship with someone like that, that wasn't even how they wanted to live their life. But because they could have had some very firm kind of people in their life, and they didn't want to disappoint those people, they kind of lived their life the way those people wanted them to live their life. And it was kind of acting like they were maybe more just and fair and balanced and loving than they really are. And when those people maybe were no longer in their environment or in their life, that's when it's like, I'm done. This is not how I want to live my life. I am all about, I'm okay wearing the fake mask, but I've been hiding from the things that I really want to do in life. And now I can go kind of indulge my more immature, fiery, indulgent nature. And yeah, see ya. You people that thought I was investing in you from love and was motivated and inspired by the same dreams that you have? Nope, see ya. That's not anything I'm interested in. I'm all about the world or myself or money or materialism. And the whole thing is that's for us to see the truth. And it can be really hard, because there's some people out there that wear really good false masks, They really have this whole persona down. But it's like from the time they were a child, it was, well, depends on how old you people are. But, you could definitely have been brought up in an era where it was all about, you know, presenting. It was very different than it is nowadays, where you present, it's to go out and kind of like, um, your child is like your purse or your phone holder. Go out with me and be a good purse holder or phone holder. Go out and we're going to go out in public and be a good shoe, be a good lamp. It could have felt a little depersonalizing back in the day a little bit, because it's kind of like children weren't almost to a degree allowed to kind of be children. Like you had to be like these picture perfect people, and well, depending on where you lived in the community. And it kind of had for some people it was more toxic than other people. It could have affected everybody where it felt like they couldn't authentically kind of be themselves, and they had to deal with all of that to become more themselves. And I'm not just supposed to present this illusion out in the world of who I am. What about me really being who I am? And some people were more oppressed and confined and restricted than other people. When they finally had the opportunity to be free of it, it's like, oh my God, I'm going to go live my life the way I really want to go live my life. Let's go look at what is coming up for the people who harness some high vibe Cancer energy, that have done some healing about the past, to see the truth, that there's more to life than money and materialism and status and image and being in your fear and your insecurity, who've decided, I'm going to go after my dreams. We have this card that kind of flipped in the deck. It's the Eight of Cups. And the reason it came out is because of the Knight of Cups and the Queen of Swords. And up here, we have the Nine of Cups. If we add the 1 cup to the 8 of Cups, we have the 9 of Cups. High vibe people are no longer in illusion about the world. They've been illuminated to the truth. And they're no longer in illusion about people who could align with their more... Queen of Swords can talk about emotionally how we have felt betrayed in the past. And we could have been in relationships with people who stayed in their shadowy energy. I'm defensive of being backstabbed. I'm not willing to invest and put in work and effort to let my more hopeful, believing inner child out to play in the world. They could get hurt. And we had been investing a lot of time, energy, and effort into trying to get them to change from shadowy Queen of Swords to a more high vibrational Queen of Swords. Someone who has some hope and faith and belief and love. But the thing is, we can only offer love and encouragement to people. And that can be really hard, because that could be a whole... our underlying philosophy of life has gotten ingrained within us probably a lot when we were young, and we don't even know all the things that influence us and why we harness more high vibe energy versus more worldly focused or shadowy energy. And eventually people are like, I'm done. I've seen the truth. You are defensive to being more independent in the world. Independent of your fear, your insecurity, your self-centeredness, your worldly nature, your wanting to be the center of attention, you wanting to look like a shining star in the world. I see the truth. It isn't love that motivates you. And that's your free will choice. If they've given up on their dreams and they'd rather not do love, not deal with their fears and insecurities to see the truth of them, and they'd rather kind of indulge themselves in the world and maybe just make their life more about money and materialism, we all do what seems to be the right thing for us at that time, which probably helps us just maintain the balance that we do have in our life. And if we were to try to do things that we're not ready for, it probably wouldn't work out well. And we just need to see the truth that some people are ready to kind of like move on and do life differently, and some people aren't. And I think the high vibe people are. And again, you might have some people that you might make love offers to, and you might have people making you love offers. And if they have illusions and are full of themselves or all about ego or image or looking like a shining star in the world, I think you're going to walk away. And if they've offered love to their more emotionally defensive nature to have healed and look at life from a higher perspective and have some hope and faith and belief in love, I think you're going to have new beginnings with those people to bring your dreams into reality, to get the justice you deserve. What about the people who harness more shadowy Cancer energy? What do they not see coming? Six of Swords and the Nine of Pentacles because of the Five of Pentacles. Well, for one, what they didn't see coming is that the high vibe people in their life, in the Six of Swords here, have seen the truth. And the Nine of Pentacles in Virgo energy is about people who know their worth and value, and they've done that work to learn those lessons, to keep adding to their foundation, to be stable and grounded and abundant within themselves, and to be independent from their more worldly, egoic nature. And they've moved on. The Five of Pentacles moves on from the Four of Pentacles of holding on to an old foundation, because people were in relationships with people like this and they tried to work with them, but the other person kept not wanting to do love. And eventually the high vibe people took that cup of love to say, you know, I've seen the truth and I'm going to let them live their life the way they want it. We view life differently. We have different dreams. We're motivated and inspired by different things. And I have a dream to move forward in an emotionally balanced, loving relationship with other people who operate from a foundation of love. Because I want to be in nurturing, loving relationships with people who've grown up and matured themselves and dealt with their own fears and insecurities. And some of them might not have seen that coming, because if they are kind of prideful and egotistical, they could have thought that if they took a risk, not willing to do the relationship your way, and they kind of sabotaged your dream. And shadowy people know that loving people really like to put a lot of work and effort into trying to get a relationship to work out. We'd all rather stay in the job, the friendship, and relationship we're in than have to go leave to go get another one. Right? And they thought, you know what? I don't want to put in work and effort to see the truth and become more emotionally independent and look at life from a higher perspective. I'm going to take a risk to maybe end the relationship with you, or let you end the relationship with me. And maybe I'll go communicate with one of my options, because the Seven of Cups can mean that. And I'll go take a leap of faith towards someone else in the world who presents himself as harnessing high vibe Cancer energy. And they could have thought that you'd feel left out in the cold and that you'd feel defensive and you'd be stuck feeling backstabbed and betrayed and in like competitive energy and jealous energy or whatever. And then if they ever decided to come back and make you an offer, then you guys could resume your relationship if that one that they went to go get in didn't work out. But I think they've seen that you did see the truth. You know, they did do all this stuff, which is confusing. It did put you probably in some shadowy energy and made you defensive. Why would this person do this? But you went within. Instead of indulging in your own kind of immature nature and repeating some poor past patterns of your own, you went within and you realized, apparently, My dream can't come into reality with this person because this person is acting in an unloving, unjust, unfair, unkind way. And I'm going to go within to see the truth and work through my emotional confusion. And I'm going to stop myself from repeating any poor patterns of my own that I could do in response. And instead, I'm not going to act in shadowy energy. I'm going to act with character and integrity. And I'm going to offer myself love for feeling betrayed. And I'm going to be in life-giving energy to love myself and believe in myself. And I'm not going to repeat some poor past patterns of ways that I could act out and sabotage myself. Sometimes those people were hoping that, because if you went and ran your life off into the ditch, then they could maintain this illusion that they're this high vibe person, and they're not. And when you keep moving forward, acting with character and integrity, it kind of illuminates who are the people creating an illusion, who is taking action out of pride and ego, who is kind of more the prideful, egotistical, self-centered person, and who's not, because they don't kind of make good decisions in their life. And they can be very competitive in the world, because that's just shadowy nature in general, is competitive energy. I want to beat you. I want to show you that, blah, blah, blah. They probably went and did some things hoping you would run your life off into the ditch and you wouldn't put work and effort into your foundation, loving and believing in yourself. And part of it is just that they didn't like that you did love and believe in yourself. If they're in shadowy energy, they want you in shadowy energy. I know. You love and believe in yourself. I'm going to backstab your dream, just like I had people backstab my dreams. And then you'll be in shadowy energy with me. And it's like, I'm not doing that. Another thing they might not see coming is there might be someone coming towards them to get in a relationship with them. People in the world might see them as being stable, or, well, they might view them as being, they try to present themselves as being, they try to basically present themselves as being like you high vibe people. It's just that they're not. But they try to present themselves as being stable and grounded and wise and loving and nurturing. But they really operate from just their more worldly foundation. For some of them, they don't even really create the illusion. They don't even tap into their emotions or their intuition. Those are in the danger zone. We don't go there. We live more from our mind than our heart. We want to look like a shining star, and we do not want to get hurt. So it's all about creating this illusion that we were backstabbed. We were in relationships with people we thought our dream, they basically use your storyline of, and blame, they probably project all their negative characteristics onto you, but yet they can't maybe see how they really are that type of person. But they might have someone coming towards them to get in a relationship with them. But the person coming towards them, if it's another loving person, this whole situation is going to repeat again. The same pattern is going to repeat again, and the same thing's going to happen again. If they get someone who's a little bit more in shadowy energy, that person might come towards them because they have mental conflict and feel left out in the cold. Maybe my dreams could come into reality with you. Maybe I would look like my dreams have come into reality, or people, it would look like I'm victorious and successful, but maybe they have a lack mentality too. Then we could have two people in a relationship who are creating an illusion that they kind of have this hopeful, believing nature, but they both are defensive of being backstabbed and betrayed because they haven't healed from past pain and heartbreak. Neither one of them is listening to their intuition. They're both trying to mentally strategize. How do I get this person to move forward with me in a relationship because it's good for my ego and my image and my status? And they both could be working with someone who's immature. And I guess they're going to have to decide, well, I feel like I missed an opportunity in love but I'm not willing to grow and mature myself. So am I willing to invest in this other person who feels betrayed and could be emotionally cold and detached and doesn't maybe like to take bold, brave, creative, inspired action? But if I were to move forward with them in a relationship, it would look like I have everything that the loving people in the world have. It's just that mine is all about ego and image and money and materialism, and neither one of us really connects in with our emotions or our intuition or our loving nature. It's kind of like we just have sex with each other to make it seem like we're such a happy, loving couple out in the world if we have sex. So, there we go, Cancer. I wish you peace, love, and joy, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.